What's up, everybody? Showtime, Shawn Porter here. If you didn't know, now you know. Today, I will be breaking down and analyzing and commentating on my fight against Adrian Granados. The reason why I picked this fight is because I think that this is one of the few fights that I've had that kind of flies under the radar. I think when you think about my fights, you're wanting to see, or you're thinking about my fight against Keith Thurman, or even my most recent fight against Errol Spence Jr. I don't think that this fight is a fight that many of you out there would probably choose to watch. It could have been, just, the caliber of fighter or fight that it was. It wasn't a big, fight for a world championship title or anything like that. So I think this one it kind of flies under the radar. So we're going to take a look at it. This was November 4th, 2017. So I actually haven't watched it in a couple of years myself. So I think it'll be relatively new for all of us if you haven't watched it, more than a couple of times. And we'll get a really good perspective of it. Even though I haven't watched it in a long time, I do have a very good recollection of what I do in the ring and in certain fights that I fought. So we'll take a look at it and we'll break it down. And you know what? Let me do this. I'll go ahead and start it, and I'll talk as we watch. But just to start off, this fight here was a little different from most fights that I've had. At this caliber, we sparred more than we did anything else for this fight. The reason being is because we knew that Adrian Granados was what you call rough and rugged. We knew that he was very durable and was a straight ahead fighter, was going to come at me and pressure me. So majority of the sparring that we did was majority of the training we did for this fight was actually was sparring. And another thing was that we brought in guys to spar that were just going to come right at me. And as you can see right here, he came out really composed, I think wanting to box, but it didn't take long. I touched him a couple of times, and then he's right back in my face trying to get me back, which is what we expected to see from him in this fight. In this fight also, you'll see what we call the in and out motion. The majority of this fight is me on my toes, just trying to hit him and not get hit. Right there, you see me put him against the ropes and go at the body. When you're in the ring with a guy who has a lot of stamina and can come at you and take a lot of punches to the head, you try to bring him down by going to the body. So we wanted to use a lot of speed in this fight, and then also we wanted to go to the body to try to slow him down. So just the first round here, a minute and a half in, and you see a lot of action already. Both of us action-packed fighters, which was another reason why we accepted this fight, was because we knew that even though he didn't quote-unquote wasn't at the same quote-unquote level as I am or was at that point or whatever, we knew that it would be an action-packed fight that people would enjoy seeing. Right there, you see me spin him. That's a move that I've worked on basically since I started boxing. My dad would tell us that the rings were like, the ropes were like fire, and you don't want your back against the ropes. So he showed us all how to spin off of the ropes. So that's something you never really see from me. You never really see me up against the ropes unless I want to be there. And then when I'm ready to get off the ropes, I make that move. Defense, too, was something that we worked on in camp. You see right there, a lot of head movement. And he's throwing a lot of shots, so we want to be responsible in defense at all times. And in this fight in particular, we knew that he was going to be throwing a lot of shots. So we wanted to have defense with both the feet as well as the upper body, moving heads. Right there, that was just an up, down, up with the jab. It's simple, but when it's perfected, it works and it looks good. And I think right there was just overhand right, which was set up by the jab. You see the up, down, up, and now he's looking for the jab hand. He didn't even know that the overhand right was coming. Going to the second round here, again, some more up, down, up for me. Combinations is what you want against a guy like this. You have to be able to out-punch, outland a guy like this who's going to come right at you. and that's what we wanted to do. Right there, you see the spin again. The spin is just something that I got good feet work, and I know how to make it happen. So one thing I'll say about Adrian Granados is, I think he's really tough, especially at this point in time when I fought him, and I think that very, very competitive. You see, there's points where he tries to use it in and out motion. I don't really think that that's his type of fight, but he wants to beat me in everything that was trying to beat me in everything that I was doing to him. Right here, just smother him, smother him, not allow him to be comfortable, not allow him to work the way he wants to work. You see foot movement, both ways, left and right, jab, smother him. I'm going to push him back against the ropes and then go to work. That's what you do. You push him up against the ropes and you go to work. Right there, you see my hands down as I'm rolling. Sometimes reaction takes place of technique, for me at least, and that's something that we try to fight against. But in the heat of the battle, sometimes the hands are down, and that's something we want to avoid in the future. Is even if you're not getting caught flush, you don't want to get caught at all. So back on the foot movement, the jab was key for this fight. The jab was what we knew would control him. It's good movement both ways. And when you're going a certain way, like right there, I was moving to the left, and then I went back right. And, guys can't keep up with that kind of movement. A lot of reaching right here. A lot of reaching from me, which is bad. You want to be able to move your feet and punch when you move when you punch. And I was not doing that. Granados is like, get him. That this is my game. This is how I fight. This is how I win. Stop him from holding me. He wanted to keep fighting, keep punching. And right there, I get him back against the ropes. And all you see there is me working. What's open and how can I get him? You saw a left hook to the body, and then we come right up the middle. When you touch a guy to the side, that's where the elbow goes, which opens up the middle. And he's like, bump it. I'm gonna fight too. So he stayed right there against the ropes. He knew he wasn't gonna get off. He doesn't have that same kind of technique that I have, and he loves it. Right there, he licked his gloves, and he's like, man, let's go. Third round, he comes right back out the exact same way, which is exactly what we expected in this fight. And again, but there's the footwork. You guys can pause it and rewind it if you want to. I'm gonna keep it moving, but it's guys aren't ready for it. Guys don't know when it's coming, and and it's a great move. Teach it to you sometime. I'm a competitor too, so I'm coming right back at him. Right here, I didn't think he was hurt, but I gotta get you. I gotta get you. So I'm coming back at him. Also, I'm changing the dynamic of the fight. When I'm on my toes and I'm moving, that's what he's comfortable with. So I changed it and went at him. Right here, he's taunting me. Right there, he wanted me to come at him. You can't get me out of my game when I'm in the ring. I control the ring, and I do what I want to do. You telling me to come at you ain't gonna happen, because at that point in time, is that what I wanted to do? It wasn't. Right here, you see me digging on both sides, and again, a short pivot, create the angle, and deliver another shot to the body, and that's what I was doing right there. I don't like refs that get in the way like that. Ref was pushing him, pushing me, Right here's an up jab. Right here's an up jab, just controlling the distance, the range, keeping it in the center, and trying to let the jab work. Hands back up, and then right back on. When I got you going back, and I know I got you, I'm gonna keep going, and he's gonna do the same thing. I think people At that point in time when you were watching that fight, you were really excited about the fight. It wasn't necessarily um, you weren't necessarily impressed with one particular thing that either of us were doing, but you were excited about the night. You were excited about the action. Don't pull back with your hands down. I will find it. I will find it. He pulled back with his hands down, and I came right at him. And just kept going, you know. And the good part about me is I have quick feet, but I have very explosive legs as well. So guys think they're out of range and distance, but I'm still able to lunge or explode and close that distance very, very fast. Most guys aren't ready for that. But there's the end of the round. And, you know, I found my corner just before the bell rang and, you know, just wanted to end the round untouched. Right here in the fourth round, I think my dad was telling me to use some more feints. My dad was telling me to just touch him with the jab and, you know, not be so aggressive. So I came back out, feints, composed, just trying to find him with the jab, using a lot of feints as well. Again, reaching, hook, right hand hook, which is a great combination, but you don't want to reach with that. And then I come back right back at it with just a 1-2-3 and land the right hand in the hook.
Heads come together. Mentioned that earlier as a danger. Granados just walked into trouble with
I think right there the hands are down a lot more than the team will want them to be. But you know, when you're comfortable, it's kind of hard to get out of what you're comfortable doing. You know, that's why you train. You train uncomfortably so that in the ring you can be comfortable. So I think at this point in the fight, just 4 rounds in, I had my distance. I found my rhythm and my flow. And everything was kind of working for me. So I just stayed with it. Just using jabs. You know, sometimes it's not all about, you know, being up against a guy all up on him. You know, sometimes you want to just use a jab and make it work. Right there, I slipped the jab and threw a right hand. Great counter. But I think when I slipped the punch, he realized he was off balance and continued to move, and he made me miss. Right here you see the pivots. Again, pivot, find the opening, and just dig. And then once I was done digging, he started to return. Get up on him, clinch him, and smother him so that he can't hit me back, you know. So that's my game. My game is a lot of pivots, a lot of turns, a lot of hustle and bustle, and it's hard to keep up with. And that's his game too, which why this fight, even though it wasn't, you know, big name, it was very exciting to watch. Now right here, you know, along with just with walking up on him, I'm also posing and posturing, letting him know that I'm comfortable, letting him know that I'm confident, and that I'm ready to hit him, you know. Right there, I pulled straight back, like I said, don't do, and he rushed in and found myself off balance. You know, I think with boxing, I think a big part of boxing that's overlooked is the balance. That's why we say styles make fights. Styles depend on the balance of the fight. That was a triple jab, right hand, and the left hook. My son is being loud. That combination is a great combination when it's thrown with speed. And guys usually are just expecting 1 or 2 punches, step back, and then let's get back going. But I'm the kind of guy who's gonna come with actual combinations, 3, 4, 5 punch combinations. This right here is just using the ring, you know. He didn't like it, you know. Guys that, you know, he would prefer a guy that doesn't move as much, and we knew that, and it presented problems for him. Right there, actually tried to create a pivot. I pivoted too slow. He took a step back and created distance and got a right hand off, which was good on his behalf.
Granados doing some good work too, but he's backed up.
Tell you what, when a guy has both hands down, you never know which one is gonna come. And then the hard part about Adrian Granados is, he'll lunge in and throw whatever he thinks he should be throwing. So it creates for a lot of awkwardness. It creates for you to kind of hesitate a little bit and really make sure you're right instead of guessing wrong. Good basic jab right there. Good 1-2. Just meeting him with the punches. Meeting him with the 1-2. People love that part. His mom's yelling for him, and he says, "All right, mom." And then I throw a 1-2. No, I didn't hit him because he was talking to his mom. I hit him because the punches were there and it was open. That was his fault. Overhand right, and I think I stayed there too long. He throws an uppercut. I got hit with the uppercut. But one thing about me and the way that I work is we call it flowing. You flow. You get hit, you just flow off of the punch and keep going. So I threw overhand right, hit him. He comes back with the uppercut, but then I come back with a right hand left hook and get him back. And again, back to the posturing, the showing him that I'm confident, the showing him that he can't touch me. At this point, was just about using my feet and making him miss. And then right there again, meeting him with the jab, meeting him with another jab, 2 rows, smother him, clinch him, and make the ref step in there. I think that's good work through, what was that, 5 rounds? This is round 6.
Shawn Porter, Adrian Granados.
I remember in this fight, my dad was telling me to just keep boxing, keep using your jab, keep using your feet. It's all working. You just keep doing it. We're going to wear him down, and we'll get him later on in the fight. Saying that, just kind of setting up what happens, I believe it's this round. I believe in this round is where I hurt my hand. And if we see it, if I see it, I'll let you guys know. But right here, just very composed and trying to counter him. That right there was just a counter 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, a jab, right hand, and then a hook. And all 3 landed. Right there was a big hook. And I'm just going to be watching my face a little bit here and watching my body to see if this is the round that I hurt my hand. It was near the middle part of the fight. Right there was the pivot. I created the distance for the right hand, but instead of staying there like he had been most of the fight, he actually rolled off of the ropes, and so he was able to protect himself from the big punch. And then he comes in with a big right hand, overhand right. I tell you what, Adrian Granados throws the punches that you don't expect, and some of them do get through. And then I come right back with the overhand right. Again, you cannot pull back with your hands down against me. But this kid is just as much exciting, and he wants to excite the crowd. So he says, Shawn can't hit me. Right here he's still posturing. He's gonna run off and then come right back in for the fight. Things that are gonna get you on your feet and get you excited. That's what he's about. He lands a good right hand right there too. So I threw the jab and left it out, and he didn't really counter, but he came with a 1-2 of his own, and his right hand got through. Right here, he may actually even be a little fatigued, or just kind of holding back, so that he could stay strong. When I see you moving like that and doing things like that, no, I'm gonna stay right there in the center of the ring. Come see me. The biggest mistake in this fight was the reaching. A lot of reaching with both hands. A lot of reaching with the jab hand, a lot of reaching with straight right hands that I was not in range to hit him with. But then you see a lot of good. You see a lot of good with the jab. You see a lot of good with the pressure and the technique. Right here, We work on that stuff in the gym. We work on cutting guys off and staying on their hip. Right there was me using my feet. Big football background, as you all know, and right there is just how you close the distance. Right there, I'm in the corner, in my own corner. I know the bell's gonna ring, and he tries to take advantage of that, but I just use good defense and allowed the bell to ring. So I come back out. This is the 7th round. Right here in the center of the ring, and I'm not bouncing anymore, which means I'm ready to hit you as soon as you come in. There's a counter, 1, 2, 1, and then I'm using pivots, short terms, so I can tell right now that right now I'm not gonna move much in this, and at least early on in this round. It's a good jab, and then overhand right, and right here I'm gonna try to keep him in the center of the ring. BLP, I see the back of that on my shorts. That's my grandmother, Bobby Lee Porter. She's in the ring. Everything you see of me is an extension of my dad, and my dad's an extension of my grandmother. And just honor her on my shorts right there with her initials. Double jab doesn't land, but the right hand and left hook does. And then I come with the overhand right. I think in this fight, a lot of the overhand rights were because I was wanting to really hit this guy and hurt this guy. I don't think I was necessarily thinking and being intelligent by throwing those punches. I think that there were punches that I wanted to hit him with and hurt him with. Right there, you see a triple jab. Just trying to make it work. And again, you can see I'm a little bit more than halfway through this round. And like I could tell that my dad had told me he doesn't want me to move too much in this round. Use your pivots and your turns, and hit him when he's coming in. Right here, doing what you got to do. Somebody coming at you and you're not ready offensively, you got to be ready defensively. Right there, met him with the overhand right. I remember my dad says, don't pressure him so much. You use the middle, stay in the middle of the ring and boxing. And right there, you could see there was a moment where I got him on the ropes, but I kind of basically held back, because that wasn't my objective and that wasn't my direction that round. Pull back, straight back, like I know I shouldn't do. And you see, I correct myself very quickly by getting low and then rolling to use good defense right there. Ref was in the way, a lot of pushing. I don't like that. I remember that now in this fight. I felt bad for Adrian actually because the ref chose to push him. I was reluctant that he didn't push me, but I did feel bad for Adrian. 12 seconds left. Straight right. I remember that point in the fight. 2 straight rights right there. The hand still doesn't look hurt, by the way. So now we're in round 8. Doesn't look hurt, and I didn't really see anything. And I remember when I did finally tell my dad that I hurt my hand. I think it was the 10th round. And yep, the hand is hurt. It's down. It's low. The hand's hurt. It wasn't bad. It wasn't broke. So I'll say that. But I remember that it would, at points, it wasn't every punch that I threw, but there were points where it would be a sharp, quick pain when I would hit him with it. And I can tell that it's hurt because it's down extremely low now. You can see that it's down lower now than it's been the entire fight. Yes, I box with my left hand low, but now it's down below my waist, which I can tell it's hurt. I know it's hurt. So, I didn't tackle him, all right? So don't say I tackled him. I can't rewind this, but I didn't tackle him. I think he was coming in, and he was off balance, and then I wanted to muscle up as well, and I ended up on the good side of that right there. But the hands hurt. Let's go back to the hand. So I'm a jab first kind of fighter. And it's really hard for me not to use my jab hand. So you can see that even though it's low, I still want to jab to the head and I still want to jab to the body. It wasn't a pain it's not there right now. The pain was only there when I would hit him. And so it was, it's hard to not throw a punch that you love to throw. And then when it doesn't hurt every time you land it, you don't know when it's gonna hurt, So I stay with the jab hand, pull back from it a little bit, but it's still there and it's still effective and it's still working. But I think you'll start to see more rights, more than anything. And there's me just smothering him and stepping forward. And right here is good defense. Hands are up and I'm rolling. Right there I know that it's not time to punch. It's time to use defense. And then you saw the counter overhand right. The counter overhand right came because the left hand is hurt. So essentially I fought 4 rounds or 5 rounds with a hurt hand, give or take. Right, there's the pivot. You see, that time I pivoted to the right first because the right hand is what's feeling good. But then instinct takes over and I pivot both ways and punch using both hands. Pace is going to slow down. Everything's going to slow down because the hand's hurt. I don't remember the decision of this fight, what the scores of this fight were. It should have been unanimous. I believe it was unanimous. My dad asked me, I think that was around where he recognized something was wrong. And he asked me, what's going on? What's wrong? I didn't tell him. I didn't know what would happen, but I didn't want him to, I didn't want it in his mind, I have to be out there knowing things. And I think, I was in some ways protecting my corner as well by not telling them that anything was wrong. A lot of feints right here, a lot of posturing, which can keep a guy off of you. You use feints as defense. And, when you're feinting, a guy doesn't know when you're going to punch, Adrian had no moves. His footwork wasn't very good. So it wasn't hard to find. Right there you see 3 punches with the same hand, and then you see an uppercut. And I know that the hand is hurt, but I'm still throwing it because it's instincts. The instincts take over, and I do what I have to do. You see a big hook right there, and I know I hurt myself because I clinched him. I got up against him so he couldn't hit me. Again, the posturing and the pace is slowed down. Now you guys don't know why, if you even questioned it. Right there's good. I wish I could rewind that. So I just basically picked up my front foot, and moved it to the left, which would give the impression that I'm gonna go that way. And as soon as I got him to look that way, I just popped right back in with a jab and landed. I think my jab is underrated by most people out there. My dad's calling now.
Like the heads. Break! No, Shawn. No spinning. No spinning. Let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean. Let's go.
See? Underrated. I landed 3 jabs right there. Good straight right and then the left hook. Let him walk into it. And I think I was a little wild right there. If I'm more composed right there, I might have actually sat down more and landed something that could have really hurt him. But I think maybe knowing that he was going to be so aggressive, I think that my mind was geared towards more speed for this fight, and so things like sitting down on my punches wasn't necessarily in my mind, like hitting him with fast right hands like that last right hand that I hit him with right there. Round 10. No clue what I'm telling the ref right
Watch
there.
out. Let go. Come on.
Shuffling
Put the
his
arm out.
corner told him
Break.
about doing.
No punch in the back of the head.
Not just standing in front of.
Right now is the 10th round. I don't really count rounds during the fight. I don't think I recognize that this was the 10th round right here. But I feel comfortable. I feel like I'm in the lead, and I'm just gonna box. I'm gonna do what I have to do to win the fight. So you'll see me get back on my feet. You'll see me move more, and right there you see me just pivot out with my hands up, and ready for defense.
Move out of there and get himself some punching room.
I think at this point I'm thinking defense and countering him, and basically just a few inches away from landing that right hand, that kind of overhand right, the few times that he came in for it. And then right there, he went low, so I grabbed his head, looked right at the ref, knowing, the ref's going to come in. He sees me headlocking this guy, he's going to come in and break this up. Good footwork again. Feet a little wide, but there are things that I can get away with because I'm so explosive and because I'm so fast, that I can make it happen. And just digging, throwing the right punches in the right place. Right there, you see overhand rights and you see left hooks. The overhand rights were because even though he was bent over a little bit and his hands were up, the overhand right is the punch that's gonna land, and then coming back with the hooks because same thing on the opposite side. You see that right there, man. That's classic Adrian Granados. I release, come off of the ropes, and he comes right at me, and the hands really hurt. The hands really hurt. I remember, I right there was in this round was where I punched him, and I felt like I had enough. I hit him, and I felt this sting, and it just continued on. And then you see it again right there. Throw a jab, and I hurt it again. But we'll keep boxing here. I think you'll see a wow 1 2 3, just a counter 1 2 3, and it lands. And you see wild overhand right. See right here. Thing that you guys don't know is I at this point I was through. I thought I thought my hand was broke, and I thought it was a wrap. I was ready to quit. So this is a round where my dad knows there's something wrong. Obviously I really displayed it right there through a left hook and really hurt myself. Come back to the corner. What's wrong? Left hand's hurt. All right, use your feet, move. You got 2 rounds left. Can't. He said, I can't. My dad said, you can't stop. He says, you give up, you lose the belt, and you don't want to do that. So just use your feet, use your defense. Don't use your jab hand. Just move on. And you'll see me for the majority of the rest of this fight here. Move, use the jab hand a little bit when necessary. Again, I haven't seen this fight in some time, so I do know that me personally, I know that I'm going to compete no matter what. So I'm sure even if it's not the same amount of punches that you saw earlier in the fight, you're still going to see a lot of punches from me because that's what I do. But you'll see more defense and you'll see more moving than anything from here on in this fight. Hands are up and just trying to smother him at this point, trying not to let him get off. I'm gonna go all the way back now to what we said, to what I said earlier before the fight, I think even started. The plan was to make this I was saying, I'm telling my dad, I'm done. He said, Shawn, keep going. And right now I'm stalling, trying to make it happen. And my dad he said, no, you can't quit. Keep going. Get your hands up and move. And I'm glad I don't think the ref saw the communication between myself and my dad. I don't think he saw the interaction enough to know that I was telling him that I was hurt and I wanted to stop. And my dad was telling me, no, don't stop. Keep going. You're fine. Use your foot. You're in shape. And, that's pretty much how we made it through the rest of this fight. So I was, 2 things. Number one, I was a little premature with what I said. Right there in the 11th round was when I was like, all right, I'm done. But to go all the way back to the beginning, we wanted to make this a 12-round fight because we knew he didn't have 12-round experience. So the plan was to take him to the 11th and 12th round and try to stop him. But after hurting my hand, I think it became more of a defensive fight for me than it was offensive, especially with my jab hand at this point done. And you'll see more defense right there. You saw the rolling, just trying to be elusive and obviously trying to make him miss, but not allowing him to know where I'm at. So you'll see both things. You'll see me move with my hands up high and using the whole ring, but then you see me get really low, and it basically just changes the level of where I am, so that I become basically unpredictable. And like I said before, bad feet. Adrian Granados did not know how to cut me off, and ref just pushed him. Man, I just feel bad. Again, watching this fight, I feel bad for him. You'll see that. You'll see a lot of me smothering him at this point. Right there was his shoulder to bump him off, and I remember. So I was premature with that conversation, but in the 11th round, between the 11th and the 12th round, I told my dad I'm done, and he says you can't stop. He said if you quit, they're gonna give him the win. You're gonna lose a technical decision. He says, you got to finish this fight. I said, all right. And he said, just get your hands up, use your feet. Don't let him touch you. And you'll see a lot of that. Now, see, I'm not a holder. And again, I don't want to get caught for holding and things like that. So you'll see me get up close and then push him right off. You really won't see me grab him and hold him because that's not my fighting style. And that's not what I do. He's going to get frustrated in this 12th round here, and it's because he wants to finish the fight in a very exciting way. Of course, he doesn't. And at this point, he knows that if I stop moving, that's the only chance he has to hit me and beat me. And so he's actually going to get really frustrated and tell me to come after him. And again, it's not going to happen. But see, when you don't have a jab, your feet are out of position. You're throwing right hands and right hooks that are out of position and wrong. You don't have a chance against me. See that? Again, changing the level. Now the hands are up and I'm low, which makes me hard to find. And right there is just me wanting to smother him and milk that clock. Good counter right hand there. And he says no. And I'm going to just keep boxing. I don't care what antics guys use in the ring against me. If I'm not for it, then I ain't for it. And another overhand, counter overhand. Right there, just milking the clock some more. He did catch my head when I was coming up, and because he caught my head. It's good, just good movement, Trying to just use misdirection with the head going like this, and then the feet, they're moving. The feet are just pure instinct and stepping the way I know, or instinctively know, the way I need to move. Right here, we got about 40 seconds left, and I'm gonna keep moving. Grab and clinch. And now I'm holding them and I'm talking to the ref. I got nothing to say to the ref. What I'm gonna say to the ref? Nothing. But I'm making this clock and I'm finishing this fight. Overhand right. Smother some more. Hands are up now. Let's see the spin off the ropes. Let's see the spin off the ropes. No spin off the ropes. Woo. Yeah, I had to make it through that one. I was not happy about that. And obviously, we all know the decision there. I hope you guys enjoyed what you saw here from me, analyzing, commentating, breaking down this fight the best way I could, give you guys some perspective that you hadn't seen or heard or thought of. And Actually, right here, I'll say one more thing about this. Adrian Granados was hoping he was going to get his name called. I don't think he necessarily thought that he had won. But right here at this point, I think this is maybe the third or fourth fight that third fight I think now that he had lost, and lost that he felt was a close decision. And so he's wrapped up in what's happened to me before against big name guys. He's wrapped up in, I won, but they didn't give me another decision. That's what he's wrapped up in. But that's not exactly what happened. So he kind of goes off. He lets the decision play out, and then he kind of goes off in the ring before they bring the microphone to him. Then once they bring the microphone to him, he kind of really lets loose. And I didn't really hear everything that he said. And again, just like the fight, he's kind of posturing and putting his hands down, saying, "Come at me," things like that. If I don't like it, if I don't buy it, then you can't get me to receive it at all. So I kind of, heard a little bit of what he was saying, but I didn't really pay any attention. Number one, I felt like I won. Number two, I from what I could hear, it sounded like it was disrespectful. So I completely ignored it. The cool part about it was he reached out to someone and got my number, hits me up. He hits me up and he says, "Hey man, I just want to apologize for saying the things that I said after the fight." And I'm playing it real cool. I'm like, "Yeah, man, it's whatever." He says, "No, I just want to apologize. I shouldn't have done that. You won the fight, and you did a good job. We both fought hard, and the right man won. And I just want to tell you that I'm sorry for saying things that I said. That's not me. That's not how I want to represent myself." And it really allowed me to recognize something that I had recognized from him in the press conference 2 days before the fight, was that he's just a really mature and good gentleman. No matter what happens in the fight, I think every fighter will tell you this. No matter what happens in the fight, after the fight, more times than not, we just go back to being friends. We go back to being acquaintances because that was a moment right there where we were just doing what we love to do, doing what we are born to do, doing what we are paid to do. And, sometimes it's still hot in there and you may say something or act a way that you don't really believe in, honestly. And, it may happen, So I did appreciate him coming back to me and extending an apology. It wasn't necessary, but it was thoughtful on his behalf, and it was received. And I was appreciative for that, because it allowed me to go back to, okay, he is the gentleman that I recognize he is. So again, I hope you guys enjoy what you saw today. Stay tuned to PBC. We will be back soon. God bless you guys. I'm about to eat the food that I didn't eat because I was talking to y'all. Take care.